Hey guys, okay, so in today's vlog, I want to talk about why is it that those people that we love the most and we give the most of ourselves to, give our everything, so whether it's your spouse, your children, your parents, those people whom we really can't give, or your boss, we can't give any more to, don't either appreciate what you've done, or they're always just looking for more. It's like you just can't satisfy people. Why is that? And here's what I've come to know. So I just went through this recently. That's why I'm making this vlog. And what I've realized in the last, so my son's been gone for a couple of months and I've been on my own. Yeah, maybe, well, not a couple months, but whatever, who cares? That doesn't matter. So I've been on my own, and here's what I've come to realize. When you do things for other people, it becomes an expectation for them because you're making their life easier, and the ego loves ease. The ego feeds off of ease and habits. It appreciates them like nobody's business. So when you're making somebody else's life easier and you're doing it by making your life harder, even if it's a little bit harder. And okay, so for example, when I say harder, what I mean is if on the way home, you stop by the grocery store and pick up milk, even though you're completely exhausted, you still spend that extra 10, 15 minutes in the grocery store. Maybe there was a long lineup, and then you finally get to home, but yet your child was home all day that could have walked to the grocery store, or your husband was home, or it could have just been done, but you chose to give yourself that little bit of difficulty because I don't know why you did it. I don't know. I know why I did it. I did these little things. These little things are actually, they compromised my compassion to myself. So see how little the things that we do, but these little things always just add up and add up and add up. So when I'm saying that when you are making somebody else's life easier, you're triggering their ego. Their ego starts to kick in, and the ego doesn't say thank you. The ego's like, oh, what can I get out of her? How much more can I get out of her? Example, so I stop and pick up milk after a long day of working while my child is still home. Nice weather outside. Could have walked to the store. He chose not to. I gave in, even though I was tired and all I wanted to do was come home, pick up the milk from the grocery store. When he finds out that I'm at the grocery store, oh, Mom, can you pick up some popsicles? Can you pick up some chips? What? You little fucker. What did you say to me? Yeah. So see how the ego just always wants more? It's never enough. Yet and what did I do? I fucking picked them up for him like an idiot. I walked around and I grabbed freaking popsicles and chips for the little shit. I did it. And I did this for years. This is not little. I thought it was little, but it's not. It takes away that compassion for yourself. It takes away your freedom or your free will to make the decisions that you want. My decision would have been to come home and have a shower, have dinner, and then just maybe go out in the garden and relax. That's what my free will would have told me. But because of him, I stopped and I did. And this is not just one time. This kind of stuff happens all the time. So over time, as you lessen the compassion to self, even with the little things, when you allow these little things to go on and on and on, the expectations of the other person's ego, it's not necessarily them, it's an ego that you have created. You, me, created that monster. I allowed it. So the responsibility always falls on self, always. So once that monster, the ego, not the person, their ego is created, it's only gonna want more, and it's like you've opened up that dragon's mouth, right? It's just gonna want more and more and more, and there's never any satisfaction. So how can you change that? How can you change that dynamic and energy? By giving yourself more compassion. So compassion, people like say compassion and they're like, it's kind of like, I feel like it's like those people on this earth that don't give significance to the heart chakra, and they give significance to the mind more. So like the ego more, and doing things of compassion and kindness are like whatever, but money and status and power is like big. I feel like that's how the ego works, and that's why even these little things are so important. And when you start closing off your own heart chakra, and the other person, so if you're doing something from your heart, which the other person could have done, and you don't want to do it, you're closing off your heart chakra. You're closing off your compassion to self. And what you're doing to the other person, no. So in this example, my child, I was growing his ego. I was giving his ego power, status. I was giving it like, if I can get this out of her, I can get more. So how can you reverse that? You can reverse it by giving yourself more compassion and saying in the moment, I'm not gonna go, I'm exhausted, you get your ass up, you go walk to the grocery store, I left money on the counter for you, have a good time, buy your milk, buy whatever you want. That would have given me compassion, and I would have gotten, instead of being bitter about walking around Safeway after a long day in heels, I would have been happy. He would have been out in nature, forgotten about it by the time he got home because he gets milk for his cereal, and it would have been just fine. Would he have been a little bit of an ass to me in the beginning? Yeah, because once you create that big fat ego, breaking the ego down, you are gonna feel resistance after resistance. It's like your children. Well, that is my child. Even your spouse, they will fight you, because the ego, once you've grown it, it does not like to revert. It only wants more. When you start chipping it with a hammer and cutting it down, the ego's gonna fight back. It's dying. You're killing it in the other person. It is definitely going to fight back. So this is one of the biggest reasons that I have found that people will not give you compassion. Even if you're dating somebody, if you're in a relationship and you're giving too much to the man or woman that you're with, they're only gonna want more. And when they don't get more because you decide to stand up for yourself, they're gonna fight back, they're gonna say nasty things. The ego will kick in like a killer. Like, it's going to not like the resistance that you're giving it. So it's really important to give yourself boundaries. What are your boundaries with other people? Your compassion boundaries. So I've done this boundary thing for years now, even though I think I've just stepped into compassion to self truly wholeheartedly. And I do a lot of measurements, and I would say I'm probably 70% compassionate to self, and 30% I still give a little. And what that's done, I've been practicing that for a long time, but I'm gonna say truthfully, the last 3 months I've been hardcore really practicing that. And yes, people have left my life to the point where I even got a text message from a friend of mine, and we go on hikes together. And she is a very, very sweet person, but the one thing that she does, and it drives me nuts, is when she texts me, they're very, she's abrasive, she's abrupt, it's her way or no way, and that's it. So we were gonna go for a hike. She wanted to go at 6 p.m. I had a Zoom call at 6 p.m. So I said, no, I can't. Why don't we go after my yoga? I can come to your place. And she's like, no, all good, next time. That was her response to me. And I read the response, and so it's really important to recognize what's happening in your body. And I read her response and I thought, that's not nice. I don't like that. I don't talk to her like that. I do not like that. So this is compassion to self. Okay, so when I recognize what I didn't like in the text, and it was her abrasiveness, it was her disrespect, and for my text that I had sent her, which was kind, she didn't answer my question in the text, and I was just like, that's actually really rude. And she'd done this to me a couple of times now, so I just messaged her back and I said, you sounded like an asshole in your text, so don't do that again. And then she did apologize, but when I have a conversation with her, she's dating this guy, I'm going to bring up that this is the last time, like this is absolutely my last straw. I'm not going to put up with these abrasive, abrupt text messages. So put some time and effort into texting, because 95% of the time, 99, we actually text each other. And the other thing is, the guy that you're dating that you really like, would you talk to him like that? Would you talk to him like that? And if she says no, like I'm stepping back from that relationship, and she's an extremely nice person when we're together. She's nothing like the way she texts, but to me, that is not compassionate to myself, and I'm not putting up with shit like that anymore. That's such a small example, but that's how much respect I have for myself now. That even little things like that, abrasive messages, it's not little. If it irritated me and made me like angry, that's not little. So, I mean, we will see how this goes, but I haven't messaged her, and I kind of don't see her being in my life for too long, because she is rude and arrogant, and not all the time though. This is literally just text. So give yourself that compassion. I give you permission. Don't feel like you have to be nice and overly nice to people. You're choking your soul when you do that. Your soul wants you to give the kindness to yourself that you're giving to other people. The kindness that you give to your child, to other people, the soul wants you to give it to yourself. Long vlog. Sorry guys. Love you guys.